Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm just sitting down for the day, so going to be kind of looking through the markets real time, right along with me, getting ready to trade today. I didn't trade yesterday with the holiday and all. I was with my family, and volume is usually kind of thin on those days. So this is a 5 minute chart, and my chart's actually reset overnight. I had to actually restart my browser, and I lost all my drawings and stuff anyway. So we're going to kind of start fresh and we'll go from there and just see what we've got. So this is 5 minutes and just looks. This is just what came up when I opened up my chart, and looks like we had a really nice bullish overnight session. So that's looked pretty good for us for our long-term stuff. But let's zoom out. Whoa, some fun drawings ended up here. Like I said, everything reset overnight for some reason. So I'm just going to. Oh, I know why, but that doesn't matter. It opened up the wrong chart for me. Yeah, unnamed chart, not my save chart. No wonder I had to reset everything. Okay, that's fine. So we've kind of done all this before, but we're just going to go through it again. We've got just quite a bit of big picture price action that we want to be aware of, and still very bullish. Like pretty much anything over like this level or this level from a long-term standpoint, I'm bullish. I don't really, these retracements are fine by me because this was quite the run that we had. And we're pushing towards new all-time highs here, which is nice. We're over our point of control for this area, and hopefully that acts as some amount of support. Quite a bit of trading took place up there, so we'll see what happens as we zoom in. Let's take a look at our structures. It's always the favorite place to start for me. And so we had this big old swing down here. So basically, all of our price action from May, the middle of May, essentially has been inside of this big old bearish swing. And essentially, what we need to do is break out the top of this. And apologies, I'm going to close my window. My neighbor's mowing their lawn, and it's going to be a little bit noisy here at my office. So sorry about the pause for a moment there, guys. Don't forget, by the way, you can, if you want to trade with me, I have a free trading room. It's at dpmtrades.com. Why is my trading room free? Well, I just kind of do this for fun. Um, I, I don't rely on the trade room for my living. I just like having the community. And so you can join us there, dpmtrades.com. It's free. I like having other people who want to trade with me, want to talk about markets. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what's going on inside of this swing. So if we go down to, even if we stay on this 8 hour, honestly, we've got this sort of higher low that came in here, and then we broke it kind of slightly and then sort of pulled back and tested this area. And now we're trying to pop up. So really, all I'm really majorly concerned with, just to keep clutter off the chart, is like this swing here where I'm going to change the color on this. And the reason I'm concerned with this swing is we had this push up, which, in all honesty, if we went to a smaller time frame, it would probably look like that. We had that nice push up, and this was sort of our retracement into this move, right? We tested this high right here, and then tried to make this new high, but it was not very convincing. So we probed the high, but didn't really make a convincing move over it. And then this morning, we're really breaking out of this channel in a more reasonable way. So that's kind of what I'm watching for right now. Is this break going to hold? Because if it does, then things look relatively bullish for the day. And if it doesn't, then we'd have to assess our expectations for where price is going to go. So if we stay bullish, I think we're definitely retesting these highs here, which on my other chart, I think I had a line right across here. You can see this high volume node. And we're just going to drop that in there just so we're aware of that area. You can see how price rejected off of that as support. That's just, a lot of sellers must have come in here to create this high volume node and start to push this price down. And so we're just reacting to that. And we really need to see if we're going to fall through this area of very thin volume and retest some of these lower points again, or if we're going to push through this and start to make new territory. We want to see price acceptance up here, some good price action up here to show that the markets are accepting these higher prices and not just rejecting them down the way we've seen happen here in the past. So that's on our 4 hour. That's kind of where we're at. Let's go down a little bit more microscopically, and we see things are looking pretty decent in here. Again, like, are we going to need to come down and test some of this? Maybe. There's a few different ways to look at this. So we've got this teal sort of range here that if this doesn't hold convincingly and we just come right back in, I would still consider this range valid. And even if we break this low, I'm not worried as long as we don't break this low. But this on the 4 hour, this is, or on the 1 hour rather, this is starting to look a little bit more convincing. We'll have to see how price action unfolds at the actual market open when some real volume starts to come in. So if this does hold as, some price acceptance over this range, then the new sort of range that we'd actually be looking at to make sure we stay within would be something like this, whatever this is going to end up being. And for now, we can even just make it like this high. So it's really just the same. All we're changing is which low we're going off of, right? So if this really makes us feel like it's a convincing high, then this low becomes a structurally important low. And again, just something that we might want to be aware of, in our trading, that we'd want price to stay above that area. Okay. Nothing real complicated. See this quite a big spike came up here overnight. Really just starting like in midnight, essentially. Quite a big spike. So there's a decent chance that in the open session today, we're going to have to retrace some of this and test some of these areas. Now, this is the 15-minute chart. We can see very thin, when we were back here, there was very thin volume through here compared to all this stuff down here. But a lot of this volume is actually coming from this coiling action here, this condensing action. So what we're kind of more curious about right now is just this current move. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pull up a fixed range data point here. And we'll go from here to here. And what we want to see is, where is our volume now? So in this fixed range profile, we do want to be a little bit concerned of this really thin area here. Okay, so we had a lot of support down in this area, starting right about here. This thin area causes me a little bit of cause for concern. We've got a little bit of, you can see the volume that came in here, right? This volume here is not buying volume, most likely. This is selling volume from this previous supply area, from those previous highs. And so as we fall through this thinner volume area, we really need like this. We've kind of touched here and here. So we want these to hold. This is the area that we want to see hold. Because you can see on our profile that once we get past this node, volume really drops off quite substantially. We've got a little bit of volume in this pullback here, but it's nothing compared to what we saw here. So I'm not sure that that's going to hold, especially when right behind it you have this very thin area, which you can see is represented by these big candles. Whenever you have these huge candles, we talk about market inefficiency. This is the visual representation of what we're talking about there. Because if we fall through there, then I think, testing this lower zone down here is definitely a real possibility. And this thing could look like this, honestly. Could look something like that. So that becomes a real possibility for us. So we kind of want to see this zone hold, maybe this zone hold. If we fall below here, it's sort of like a lookout below, I think, situation until down to this lower zone. So that's kind of what we're looking at for today. And is a pullback to this zone possible? Yeah, I mean, this all only occurred since yesterday's close at noon. So from 6 o'clock yesterday to this morning is where this move happened. So could we retrace this in the open session? Heck yeah, we can. Absolutely. So we're super interested in knowing kind of what went on there, right? And what's even more interesting is we can zero in even further and look at like just this coiling action here and say, we want to know kind of what went on within here. And we see, look, our point of control is right about there. So that's kind of where we want maybe price to come back and test or retrace or something like that. Same thing, if we were going to come back into this area, then we'd want to know, again, like sort of where is our volume in there, right? And it would be about here. So that would be the area that we might be, if we're going to fall through, like this is sort of like the last bastion that we'd want to be aware of. So this gives us some levels to focus on for the day, which is nice. So this gives us, like, we want this current area to hold here right around 42.22. And if we start to fall below that, really below these lows, if you want to be on the safe side, 42.19, that would be a good bet. And, really good risk reward there, because we can maybe try to take this back up to some highs, or at least back up to this major volume area here, and see if we can't pull ourselves back into that point of control. So if this comes back down and touches in this, and you get a buy around 42.22, you could take a nice little scalp up to 25, get a little 3-point move there. Your stop is about the same. It's about a 3-point stop. So a little 1-to-1 risk reward, which is not too shabby for a scalp, honestly. So yeah. And then kind of the same deal, like this coiling action that took place in here is just sort of interesting, and we may want to be aware of, what took place. Let's just call it from this low to here. And so again, our point of control here is about here. So we might just want to be aware of that level. These are just, if the market breaks down, if it retraces a lot of this move, we'd be looking at like first stop 42.16. You might be able to catch a little reaction there. And then your stop can be underneath 42.14 essentially. And then same deal, like if that doesn't hold, I'd look for another reaction here around the 42.05 level. And a very aggressive stop could be 42.01. This might be more of like a swing style. You can take this on micros depending on your account size, because you may want to consider a wider stop down here below all of this volume. See all this volume here and here, and we just want to put our stop below that, because if we break below that, then we're looking to test some of these lower volume areas, or these lower high volume areas. So I, put an entry here. You could scale in, put another one down lower if you want to, maybe around this little base that formed here, and then a stop under 42.97 or so. So that's a kind of a bigger stop, be more of a swing trade, because if I was going to do that, I'd probably be looking to take this back up to these highs. For more of a bigger move. So we've got some quick scalp opportunities if we do start to retrace, and then more of a swing opportunity coming from down here. Yeah, and then of course, if the market is retracing, we'll be looking for short opportunities to scalp the sort of trend that's happening on the way back. If that does take place, we just want to be aware of that. Okay, so let's take a look. Now we've got some of these levels on. We've got a little bit of time here still before the market opens. I want to zoom back out a little bit and just look at this bigger picture now that I kind of have all this in mind. And one thing I do want to be aware of also is kind of what's going on within this range overall, because we could retrace like any amount of this coiling action. And it looks like what we've got here is like a point of control down here. So that would be, again, like if this fails, maybe we're just going to be doing continued mean reversion. You can see here we've had quite a bit of mean reversion. Again, if we just pull this back and give ourselves some fixed range and look at maybe something like from here to here and just see what we get. And actually not too bad. Let's take it back a little bit further and just see if we bring in some of this other coiling action. Yeah, so we get that same point of control down there. So that would be another possible area that we can test. If we look at this move, even if we bring in from these lows here, like this whole impulse, this is a strong area to retest. And remember, I said from a bigger picture standpoint, as long as we're above this white channel, we're still bullish. So if the market does come down here, I'd actually be looking for long opportunities here. So I'm going to put another line in because this would be another like big picture long opportunity here at around 41.57. So keep an eye on that level too, because that's our sort of key retracement area for this entire move that's happening. I don't know that we're going to come down that low. This really looks to me like we're maybe ready to break out of all of this and test these previous highs up here. But we really could reject from these highs. I mean, we are in a sideways market at the moment. So until we really show a sign that we're breaking out of that, I mean, this looked like we were breaking out of the sideways market, but it was it was a little bit of a fake out, and probably a lot of bigger picture or swing trading longs got caught up in that and probably lost some money. Personally, we were selling up here. And then buying back in down here. So actually, I think we bought back in on these lows, and we've caught quite a nice move in our swing and long-term accounts. So yeah, man, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at for the day. I'm going to be switching over, opening up my live trading account, getting ready to start the day. I've got some stuff I've got to get to my programmers for some indicator stuff and for some stuff for the bot that I run for scalping, but I'll just be trading manually today. And if anybody wants to trade with me, again, dpmtrades.com, just go on the website there, click on community. And we have two levels of membership. We do have a paid membership. And that's if you want like some of our long-term or swing alerts. And if you want access to some of our indicators, all of that's included with the paid membership. But if you just want to trade, if you just want a room and you want to bounce some ideas off other people that are trading futures, or honestly, I do look at individual equity charts as well. So if you're a swing trader and want some charts analyzed, you're looking at some individual names, feel free to join our free group, and you can post names in there. I love talking trading. So I don't run my trading room for my living. I do it for fun, and I trade pretty much every day. So if you want to join me, cool. If not, that's cool too. I'm going to sign off now and check back in with you guys later on. dpmtrades.com.